sports all plays. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Monday, May 6, 2024. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Going pretty well. Not real well for the Reds the last 3 games, but
I think it's a good thing to have the day off.
Yeah. Played by the best team in baseball right now. Baltimore is playing the best, but it's not consistent on hitting the ball.
Yesterday they couldn't do nothing. 11-0.
Yep.
Is that what it ended up finishing at?
Yeah.
They gave up 5 runs in the ninth.
Yeah.
Gave up a grand slam in the ninth, I believe. Because, I mean, they were getting beat, but at least it was like 5-0, 6-0. You know what I mean? They were,
yeah.
And then boom, they exploded again in the ninth.
No, they got off to a bad start right away, down 3-0 real quick.
Yep.
But they're not consistent right now. We'll see if still real early. I like the team. We'll see if they can get things straightened out. Big game for the Pacers tonight.
Yep, they kick off their series against the Knicks. First time the Pacers have made it out of the first round in 10 years? I think it was. Been a while, I know that.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe you're right. Looking forward to the game. Like to get that first one, that'd be nice. But Knicks got a good team. Can't take anything away from them either.
Yeah, but I think Pacers are going to win tonight. Thing is, if we lose, as a Pacer fan, if we do lose tonight, you can't get too discouraged. I mean, the whole goal. Don't get me wrong, it'd be great to win both these first 2 games, but the whole goal is you need to get at least one of these in New York. So if we do lose tonight, it's not the end of the series.
No.
But, hell, we lost the first game to the Bucks.
Yep.
Didn't play well at all, especially in the first half. Played pretty good in the second half, but the first half didn't play good and then dug themselves too big a hole to come back. But didn't play great that game, then came back and played real good game 2, 3, and 4, really. And then played a bad game in game 5.
Well, Damon liking the Knicks and the Nuggets. Think the Nuggets could be in trouble with this Murray's calf injury?
I think it's going to be a good series. I thought it was going to be a good series whether Murray had a little bit going in with the injury or not. Timberwolves are a good team. I mean, they were right there top of the West all season, and Anthony Edwards has really been playing pretty damn fantastic in this playoff run. I still think the Nuggets are going to win the series. I think they bounce back tonight, get a win at home, get it back to 1-1, then go to Minnesota. If Minnesota can win tonight, that'd be huge. I'm not saying the series is over, but that'd be huge to be able. Nuggets don't lose many games at home anyway, so I mean, if you win the first 2 at home, that's going to set the Nuggets up real good, or not Nuggets, Timberwolves up. Excuse me. But I think Nuggets win tonight, tie the series back up 1-1. But this is a series I could see going 7 games, and especially with that injury. But I'm not going to say that injury is the only reason that Minnesota has a chance, because I think they would have. I think this is going to be a real good series, no matter what. I think a lot of people think whoever wins this is probably very likely going to be representing the West in the finals. I mean, these are I know some people have talked about OKC, but these are the 2 teams that I think most people expected one of them to be in the finals, out of the West anyway. You got game 2 of that is tonight.
Yep. After the Pacer game, yep.
Hopefully, Pacers get off to a good start. It'd be nice to pick up a big win. It is kind of cool, at least for me. I think it's kind of cool that first time that the Pacers have been in the second round of the playoffs for so long, and then to be against the Knicks is pretty cool to me, because when I was growing up and the Pacers were, I'm not going to say they were like the top team in the NBA, but they were always a pretty good team with the Reggie Miller era and all them guys. And who was the team we always battled in the playoffs when I was growing up was the Knicks. You know, I mean, that used to be one of the biggest rivalry, but it was one of the bigger rivalries in the NBA. So just kind of selfishly for me, it's playing the Knicks. I think is pretty cool, because, like I said, to me, when I growing up watching them, that was always one of the biggest rivals.
Well, they did a documentary on it.
Yep,
so, it was a huge rival.
Hey, how's it going, Jones? Damian, Knicks, and Nuggets.
What the hell's wrong with you, Damian? Don't be picking the Knicks over the Pacers. Is something wrong with you?
Yeah, Knicks are getting ready to get put out. Pacers are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, whether they get by Boston or not, we'll find. I'm not going that far yet. We got to get by the Knicks first.
Get by the Knicks first.
But I do believe that the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks. Should be a real good series though. I mean, Knicks aren't a bad team by any means. So it should be a real good series.
I am a little upset. My Vegas Golden Knights, defending NHL champions, got put out last night by Dallas.
They cheated and still couldn't get past the first round.
No, what the hell? Well, hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It ain't cheating unless you get caught, and it's legal cheating.
I was gonna say it's not cheating because it's
legal.
It's within the rules. It was just a lot of people were making a big deal about it. Yep. Like Las Vegas was the first team that had done it. There's been other teams that done it and won Stanley Cups doing it. Well, didn't Vegas do it a little bit last year too?
Yeah, they did it last year too,
and they won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Tampa, the Lightning have done it and won a Stanley Cup by doing it. Damien, I haven't watched it yet.
I've seen some clips.
I didn't even realize it was on last night, or I probably would have watched it.
I didn't know it was on TV.
It was on Netflix.
Okay.
So I mean, it's on Netflix. So
I'm gonna check it out.
But I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know on McAfee show today they talked about it quite.
I've seen some clips on McAfee.
Yeah, they showed a few clips and they talked about it quite a bit on there, and I've heard some other people talk about it. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it, but I forgot about it being on last night and haven't watched it yet. But from what I've heard, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Oh, the clips I seen were hilarious. So,
well, I'll definitely gonna have to check that out. I had some crazy weekend in sports. 2 of the closest finishes ever in Kentucky Derby and in NASCAR, and then even in the F1, you had a new winner.
Yep.
For a change. It's usually always that one damn guy. They got a new winner.
yeah, that's true. Saturday was a great sports day. I got to watch a fantastic pay-per-view. Really enjoyed, and then turned it over right to Kentucky Derby, and that was probably the best Kentucky Derby I've watched. I'm a big horse racing fan, so really enjoyed it.
don't know if you saw it, but they had the guy that calls the Kentucky Derby on McAfee's show.
Oh, did it?
Beginning of the second hour. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy that does like the play, calls the races. They showed him up in the booth up there with binoculars and stuff. I was like, man, that'd be kind of hard trying to call a race and look through binoculars.
And real quick on WWE, real quick, how smart they are. They have their show. They have the press conference. As the press conference is getting ready to end, by the way, we got a huge announcement coming. It's getting ready to happen on the Kentucky Derby in just here about 5 minutes. They made the announcement on during the Kentucky Derby broadcast with all these people watching the Kentucky Derby when the next WrestleMania is going to be. Them dudes are marketing geniuses.
Yeah, Damien wasn't a fan of it. He said F WWE for making me watch Kentucky Derby.
I love Kentucky
Derby.
I'd love to go to the Kentucky Derby one time.
There was I think it was what
350,000 people there.
Yeah, but I think they said there was like during the time of when the actual race was getting ready to start or going race start and run, it was like over 16 million.
Yep.
Was watching,
and they made that announcement probably about 20 minutes before the race.
Yeah, that wouldn't count like the whole thing, but no.
That's the biggest difference with, I think, just marketing. There's a huge difference between AEW and WWE. One's playing checkers, and
and it's even more noticeable now with Khan, with Nick.
Yeah.
Since he's been there with WWE, yes. It seems like he's a great. Whether what you think about him as a personal whatever, dude's a great businessman.
Yes,
and he helps out a lot with that kind of stuff. At least I believe.
What he said was that he wasn't released. They just didn't renew his contract. I know there was stuff with Ronda Rousey. They did an investigation. They said there was nothing really came from that investigation, but his contract was up and they didn't. And I'm sure that's part of it. But then there's been some stuff come out, some stories come out since then that he was kind of a bully in NXT. So I don't know what the truth is. Who knows? And I doubt if you can believe half the stuff you see in the dirt sheet. So you don't know. I know they didn't renew his contract.
And the end of the NASCAR race yesterday was
that was nice.
Actually the whole race was. I watched most of the race. I didn't watch all, but I watched a lot of it yesterday, and because hell, it didn't start till almost 6 or something because of the rain delay. But tell you what, that 1.5-mile track, it was a good race. They'd had some long runs, and there'd be a caution, and you had to worry about fuel and stuff. But the ending, because ended up getting a restart. I think there was like 6 laps left, and the caution came out. So then they had to end up being a green-white checkered overtime. And then the last 3 laps were awesome. And like I said, the finish was closest finish in hell. Well, maybe like a half inch or something, if that was that bumper went across the other one. Well, the announcer on TV was saying the other guy won the race. Yep. Like when the race ended, they're saying there. I said, because I was like, man, I thought Larson got there, but that was closer than hell. And then Larson, they're making their way around the track, and then the other guy's team and him are celebrating that they won, and then it came out the Larson one. But they showed, when they showed the replay and the picture and everything, man, it was close. I don't think it can get any closer.
I haven't seen the Rikishi thing. Yeah, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. Real quick, Chris, I don't know if you've been following, but they're doing the King and the Queen of the Ring, and starting tonight, they're going to have 8 matches on Raw, 4 women's matches and 4 men's matches. But then what I didn't realize is they got another 8 matches on SmackDown. There's 16 people in each bracket. They haven't announced the people that's going to be on SmackDown yet.
I knew McAfee had mentioned it toward the end of his show that something about a King Queen tournament or whatever, because he always mentions Raw on Monday before he goes off the air because he gets done with his show and then jumps on a plane to go to get wherever he's going.
Yeah, Dragunov versus Rikishi. Not Rikishi. Ricochet. Excuse me, Rikishi. Because I've seen that Rikishi. Ricochet is one of the matches. Sheamus versus um, Gunther is one of the matches.
Yeah, name I haven't seen the Hogan disc either. Poxer Jones said it was great, which I knew he would think it was great.
Yeah, no matter what. If it's against Hogan, he's going to love it. Hopes for the tourney. I think it's going to be a good tourney. I just don't know. I kind of agree with you. I think it needs to be the winner of the tourney needs to get a championship match or needs to get a huge push. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping somebody like Zoe Starks or somebody like that wins the women's, somebody that really needs it.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. That Ricochet got the
speed title. Yeah. I'd like to know. I wonder how you could find out how them viewers, how many people's watching that, because it's on. Is it on TikTok? No, it's on. Is it on TikTok or Twitter?
I think it's on. X, but Twitter.
X. So I wonder how they.
Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
I wonder how they. I wonder if there's a way they chart that. How many people actually watch it? There'd be too many matches for the pay per view. They're just gonna have the 2 final matches on the pay per view.
Should be on. Yeah, they're not going to bring that back on. I think.
Io would be good, but I don't know. Does she need it? She was just Io Sky was just the champion. Does she need the championship? I don't know where they're going. I kind of think the men's championship is going to be Gunther, and they're going to push him. He's going to be the king of the ring because he's already the ring general and all this stuff, and they're going to push him towards the championship. That's what I kind of think. That who knows? I mean,
I've heard a lot of people, which is something we can talk about tonight, but a lot of stuff online. And I don't follow it as close as you do, so I don't even know how much of it, how truth it is. But saying that like ever since Cody became champion, all the ratings and numbers are down. Has it went down any more than what it normally does from like after WrestleMania?
No.
Because after WrestleMania every year it drops some, and then when WrestleMania starts ramping up, it goes up some because of all the storylines are in there. Going in WrestleMania, all the storylines are at their peak usually.
Yeah.
And now you're starting a lot of new storylines. But are the numbers any lower than what they normally are?
No, about the same. You also got the NBA playoffs and the hockey playoffs going on too. It's affecting it some. No, I don't think they're down that much. I think they sold out all that European tour they was on over there. Cody was the face over there. Cody's the face of WWE.
I just figured a lot of it was people.
It's just people doesn't want to hate.
Pox just that would be good.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. They're in
Dragunov,
that'd be awesome.
Some people think that Dragunov is going to be a partner of Gunther eventually. That's why they kicked the other guy out and moved him to SmackDown. That he's going to join the group. I don't know if that works or not, but that's what some people have been saying.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what it was. It was more of the WrestleMania, post WrestleMania drop, and then like playoff. You have all the playoffs for all the other, well, not all the other sports, but a lot of the sports that are playing right now. You have playoffs. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was. I had started seeing some people say that, and I was like, well,
yeah. You're reading too much of the saying that they don't have anything. You need to lay off Meltzer. Them morons that follow Meltzer and report what Meltzer says. I think they have a plan for Cody. He just won the belt, and I think wrestling AJ Styles, a match that's never happened before, was a great way to go. So I mean, I think they're building towards a story. You got to give it time. I mean, you just come out of a massive story, a 2-year story.
yeah.
So, give it, it's only been a month. So, give it a little time. I think that they're going to have a great story for him, and I think he's going to do well. Matter of fact, I think it's going to be him and not Roman, him and The Rock at WrestleMania. What I think it's going
Joe's like, calm down, David. Calm down.
to be. Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, I haven't watched the pay per view yet, but I know I've heard a lot of people say it was good, and I've heard quite a few people say like you that the crowd there was crazy.
But it was too crazy for Marcus.
I was going to say I've heard a few people say that the crowd was too over the top and that it was a little bit distracting.
Yeah, he was distracted to Marcus. Mark's pretty old school. I thought it was refreshing. Would I want to watch? Would I want to? I think I'd love to see him get a WrestleMania. Now, would I want to see him every week? I don't know. Might be much, but it was a great. There was points in that where they got so loud and crazy. The camera was shaking from the damn crowd. I mean, the place was shaking. Your mom was watching that last match with me when Cody and AJ came out, and they got to them soccer fans, because they're big soccer fans, got to doing that damn hop and shit. And she said they've done lost their minds. Yep, they have. The greatest ring entrance I ever seen was Jey Uso, who came out through the crowd and he started doing this. Well, they turned out the lights and everybody had their phones and everybody's doing that. It was insane.
Damien said this year's Backlash was better than last year's.
Last year's was good. So yeah, I thought Backlash was very good.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. There was a lot of sports on this weekend. UFC that UFC ended up being better than what I thought it was going to be, because, like I said, if that guy don't make the mistake of deciding that he wants to take, of course, I'm going to forget the Patoja down in that last round. He might have won that fight because he was beating Patoja on their feet.
I read a headline saying that he got ripped off, that he won that fight.
I didn't think he won it. I think he would have won it if he'd stayed on the feet in the fifth round, because he was beating them striking. But the takedown and the control time in that fifth round, I think I had it 2-2 going in the fifth round, and I would have gave Patoja that last round. And I know Austin had it the same as 2-2. Austin had it 2-2.
Have you heard the story? They did the pre-show for the and they were at the studios at the WWE studios. CM Punk and the guy that was in New Day, big guy, Big E, and another lady. They were there doing the pre-show. Well, somehow CM Punk got locked in the damn building. He couldn't get out. Yeah, it was crazy. He was going around looking at stuff, looking at different stuff in the building and stuff, and had it on his phone and stuff. He got locked in. It was predictable, but sometimes I don't know if that's a bad thing. I mean, they're setting things up, so a lot of people said WrestleMania was predictable, and I thought that it had some great stuff. So I mean, just it depends.
He punched Andre's statue in the balls.
Yeah, yeah. He was just killing time. He was doing all kinds of shit. Yeah, you'll have to look at that video. It is pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. All right. Well, we'll talk some more wrestling stuff this evening. But what do you? NBA night got 2 games. Of course, you got the Pacers opening up against the Knicks. The Knicks were like at 6.5, but I'd heard it went.
Last time I said it was 5.5.
Yeah, it's at 5.5. Knicks are 5.5 point favorites at home, minus 235 on the money line. Over unders at 217.5. I'm taking the Pacers at the plus 5.5. I think Pacers are going. come out and play a good game tonight and win this game. But even if they don't win, I think it's going to be a close game. I kind of like the over. Kind of like the over the 217.5 is half, but I'm going to go with the Pacers plus 5.5.
I usually don't pick on my favorite team, so I'm gonna stay away from it. I do like kind of the over, but I'm not doing NBA today.
Hey, how's it going, Billy? Poxer said he's not mad at it. He just thought compared to this year's was good, but I think he liked last year's a little better.
Approximately that question, because I don't know what it was. There was something in that match for about 2 minutes. I don't know if it was the ref. I don't know if it was Kari Sane. I don't know if it was Cargill. Something went wrong for a couple minutes, but there was times in that match Cargill looked fantastic. So I still thought it was a pretty good match, but they did get lost a little bit for some reason. I just don't know what happened.
Yeah, I've seen. You had told me that night. Now I've seen a couple people mention about it.
One thing she definitely needs to work on is her selling. She's not very good at selling, but she's never done selling very much. Never sold in AEW, and she ain't sold much here yet.
They thinks it was sane. Her matches be clunky
at times. Yep, I agree.
All right, and then in NBA now we have Game 2, Denver Nuggets against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And for some reason, I just lost my. There it is. The Nuggets are 6.5 point favorites at home, minus 270 in the money line. Timberwolves are plus 220 on the money line. Over-unders at 208. Timberwolves are up 1-0 in this series. I'm going with the Nuggets at the minus 6.5. I think Nuggets win this game and tie the series up at 1-1, going back to Minnesota.
I think they're going to win too. I kind of agree with you.
Oxley said Jay definitely got to sell better and hopes Minnesota keeps rolling.
They might. I mean,
they could. I mean, they're a good team.
They are a good team.
Anthony Edwards has been killing it here lately as well. He played. I didn't see much of the game on Saturday because I'll be honest with you, I forgot that.
I didn't know.
I forgot there was even an NBA game that night.
Too.
I didn't think it was till Sunday, but I saw a lot of the highlights, and man, Edwards was playing.
Those people are saying he's better than Jordan.
I don't go that far.
Yeah, let's calm down a little bit. I mean, I think he's great.
If you want to compare his style of play to the way Jordan plays, I could go on that some, but yeah, I wouldn't go as far as you can't compare him to how good Jordan was yet, but like his style of play, the way he plays and the intensity he plays with and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see a correlation in that. I mean, he is. I mean, he does kind of remind me of that. Just like, but yeah, it's because he does. He looks a lot like Jordan out there playing with the aggressiveness he plays, and like he'll do that. He'll drive the lane and do that spin move, with a little fadeaway. I mean, you can see a lot of his game, a lot of Jordan in him. But I mean, he hasn't accomplished enough to be to be at that level. But yeah, like comparing their games, I agree with that because they are. He's probably one of the closer ones that his game is as the same. Kind of like how everybody thought of Kobe. I think Edwards is that next guy that plays a lot like Jordan and Kobe, style wise.
I got a question with the NBA. I seen a thing that Magic Johnson said, and I agreed with it to a certain degree. Part of it, he said that the Lakers have nobody to blame but themselves for being out already. If they didn't do all this load management crap, they might not finish seventh or been in a play-in or in that shit, and would have maybe got a better matchup. But do you think they would have matched up better with the OKC or Timberwolves?
I mean, they matched up better with OKC than what they do Denver. Timberwolves, I don't think they match up much better with Minnesota than what they do Denver. I think Minnesota's size would get. I don't think it was the load management. They're just not as good a team.
I agree with
them.
that. They could have been in a better position as far as.
I think what kills them, they need a point guard.
Yeah, you've said that.
They need a point guard, and D'Angelo Russell was just not consistent enough for them in the playoffs. But yeah, I think I really think they need a point guard badly on that team. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't know how, with as much money as they got wrapped up and stuff, I don't know how much better they're going to be able to make themselves unless they make big changes. And I think they're going to keep. I think LeBron's going to be there. So.
Yeah, I do too. I think Bronny's going to be there too.
Yeah, but they probably can get him as they probably could get him as an undrafted free agent. You wouldn't even have to waste a pick on him.
Probably. I don't think so.
At this, if you're getting him now,
yeah.
Here in a couple of years, that might totally like if he would play another year of college or plays in the G League, that might change if you don't go in the draft. If he goes in the draft this year, I could very easily see him not getting drafted and being undrafted free agent somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Or the Lakers might take him in the second round. They even said LeBron is the reason Lakers are where they are. I'm not saying Darvin Ham should or shouldn't have been fired, but I mean, if you don't, honestly, I didn't think Frank Vogel should have been. I didn't think Frank Vogel should have been fired when he got fired. But
think he should have got fired this year. Has he been fired yet?
I don't think he's been fired yet.
A lot of people think he's going to be.
But I don't think he should have got fired from LA when he did. But history has showed it. If you coach a team that LeBron's on and you don't win at the level that everybody expects, the coach is usually the one that's gone. And I mean that's how it works in NBA.
7 out of 8 coaches.
That's how it works in NBA unless your name is Doc Rivers.
Yeah, and that don't make sense either. I think Doc Rivers got some pictures of some people or something, some shit. I don't know what the hell. He get jobs and hell, they fire a guy that had a winning record, 30-13, to bring in Doc Rivers, who finished under 500.
Yeah, I don't know how he keeps getting jobs.
It make no sense.
He won that one championship with Garnett and them in Boston. Since then, he's.
Who's the guy that's the favorite for the Lakers job? I can't think of his name. A lot of people think he's going to.
Oh, the guy that's never coached before?
Yeah, don't make no sense. Why would they want him?
JJ Redick?
Yeah, why do they think he's going to be a great coach?
He does a podcast with LeBron. No, and he's been on ESPN the last few years, and he is good at break. He's smart. He's smart. Knows a lot about basketball. I mean, of course.
That don't mean you can deal.
But I mean, he breaks down stuff and everything. And his name, I think he actually interviewed in the coaching job last year, first one, and he's interviewed with somebody else besides LA this year. Same thing last year. Where in NFL where people were wanting to interview Dan Orlovsky for a coaching job because they see him talk about football on TV. It's great. It's crazy, but yeah, right. Yeah, it sounds like JJ Redick is probably the favorite to get that job.
I'd go after that one dude, Budenholzer, whatever the one that was.
Yeah. I've heard his name too. He should never. And that's another guy. He should never got. Milwaukee messed up firing him.
Yep.
After last year. So and then you hire a guy, fire him in the middle of the season. It's just that situation's been totally crazy. But for NBA, I'm taking Pacers plus 5.5, and I'm going to take the Nuggets at the minus 6.5 tonight.
Yeah. I didn't do NBA. What do you think about this NHL for tonight? Just one game, right?
Yeah.
Boston at Florida.
And that's game 1, right?
Yes.
I'm going with Florida at home. And a lot of it is because Boston's coming off that long 7-game battle, and they just played, Saturday?
Yep. I agree, but sometimes
Sometimes that can help.
Florida's had a long layoff. That'd be the only thing. But I think being at home helps Florida.
And it's hard.
I'm going with
I'm not
Florida.
gonna lie. It's hard to bet against Kachuk as well.
Yep.
But yeah, that's going to be the thing. Is the who's that rest going to? Is that rest going to help Florida or hurt them? And the same thing with Boston is not getting that rest. Is that going to hurt you or is that going to help you? Because like you said, sometimes it's the best. Because I know like I can't remember who the guy that was on from Florida. He was on. Pretty sure it was Florida that was on McAfee show last week.
Yep. I can't remember.
And then there was another team that was on McAfee show that was off as well, waiting on the next series. And both of them kind of talked like it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because you can use there's a lot of guys on the team that can use the rest, but you also when you have that momentum going in hockey, that's a big thing. So you kind of want to keep playing. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But Florida's just they're a good team too, and I think being at home and with that rest, I think they're going to get off to a good start tonight.
Yeah.
But that was a hell of that Boston and Maple Leaf series was a hell of a series and hell of a game 7. It was 0-0 in the third quarter. And then baseball tonight, which the Reds are off. But there is still a good big slate of baseball game, bigger slate of baseball than anything. I end up going with 3 games. First game, I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers at the +1.5 against the Kansas City Royals. I think the Brewers win this game. I'm still trying to figure out why the Royals are favorites in this game. Pitching matchup's pretty close, and the Brewers have been the better team throughout the season. I know they're playing in Kansas City, but Brewers are +120 on the money line. So you get better odds if you take them on the money line. At +1.5, you're getting at -182 on the juice. So you get better odds if you go on the money line. Actually, I'm going to go on the money line because of the odds. Because -182 at +1.5 isn't very good odds. So I'm going to take Brewers on the money line because I think Brewers win that game. Next game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Twins at the +1.5 at home against the Seattle Mariners. Twins have been playing some good baseball. I know they were on like a 12-game winning streak. Yeah. They've been playing good baseball. They're at home. Seattle's been a little up and down, so I'm gonna go with the Twins at the +1.5 at home. And I'm gonna take the New York Mets on the money line on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals. And this game is one. The Mets are -1.5 on the run line. You can get that at +168, or they're +104 on the money line. So they're underdogs on the money line, but they're favorites on the run line. And the Cardinals, you can get at +1.5. That's -205, or you can get them at -122 on the money line. So it's kind of weird, but I'm going with the Mets on the money line. Mets have Manet on the mound. They have a little bit of a pitching matchup advantage in this game. So I'm going to take the Mets on the money line. So that's going to be my 3 picks: Brewers money line, Twins +1.5, and the Mets on the money line.
Okay. My MLB, I went with Philadelphia at home money line against San Francisco. I went with the Cubs money line at home against San Diego. I went with St. Louis money line on the home money line at home against the Mets. I went with Texas money line on the road against Oakland, and then I went the Dodgers money line at home against Miami. So I did 5.
Almost took that Cubs game, but I can't get myself to pick the Cubs.
I know it's hard.
And I almost picked San Diego. How the hell did they get all these players? Did you see where they just picked up that Arise?
Yep.
How the hell did they get him?
I don't know.
I know there's not a salary cap in Major League Baseball, but fuck, how can they afford to pay all these guys?
I'm now just afford to pay all their guys.
Because Padres have that's true. Dodgers are the same, but Padres have they have a good roster, and you had Arias who I mean, he was in the MVP conversation for a lot of the year last year. I mean, I was surprised they let him go, but and then he came to first game with San Diego. Did you see what he did? 4 for 4. First game with them the other day over the weekend. But yeah, it surprised me that he went there. Damien, I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, about Cannell and De La Hoya. I know Cannell just fought, I believe, and won this past weekend. Actually, I forgot about that being
I forgot it was on, but yeah, I heard about it yesterday.
I seen on my channel it was on, and I said, well, I'm going to come back to it and check it out, and I forgot.
You got some of the media that thinks the Knicks are just going to walk right over the Pacers, and then you got others that think the Knicks or the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks. I heard a guy on the radio this morning talk, but in his, well, I'm not going to say in his defense, but he's also a big Knicks fan.
Yeah.
One dude on Fox in the morning, Carton.
Yeah, Carton.
Yeah. I was listening to his show this morning when I took Austin to work. He thinks Knicks are going to win the series, but he's a big Knicks fan.
He's a huge Knicks fan.
But Tim Hardaway on that show. He was leading toward the Pacers. Okay. That Carton was giving him a little bit. It was funny, but yeah. But you got the ones that aren't like Knicks fans. There's still a lot of them that, like on the radio last night. There's people that think that the Pacers are lucky to be here and that Knicks are just going to destroy them. And I was like, Pacers are a pretty good team. Now they could lose to the Knicks, but just because they lost to the Knicks, if they lose to the Knicks, don't mean that they didn't deserve to be here. I mean, hey, they won their first round playoff game. They won almost 50 games this season. I mean, they're not a terrible team.
No,
they're a young team. And I've been saying this all year too. Look, not having Mathurin hurts us too, because that's another guy that plays defense, and he's one of our good guys at creating his own shot. That dude can drive the goal. He's just so versatile. Craig Carton. I like that show. I listen to it in the mornings. Because around here, if I listen to it on regular radio, they cut the one show I listen to, the Two Pros Cup of Joe. They cut it off at 8 a.m. to do a damn local thing. Yeah. So then I usually get on Sirius and turn in on it on Fox Sports Radio, and on Sirius it's the Craig Carton show on, not the Two Pros and the Cup of Joe.
Yeah.
So I usually listen to it in the morning, but yeah, it
is a good show.
Yeah, with him and that Jacoby and Hardaway. Greg Jennings is on there some, but yeah, they have a pretty good group of guys on there. I like it because it's not the same, but it's kind of like McAfee's show in a way, where they're laid back and it's not all just debating and arguing. They all give like their opinions. They have some fun. You know what I mean? It's not the exact same, but it has a little bit of that kind of vibe to it.
I agree with you.
I just got sick of all the old, just the straight debate shows. I think that's why I like Carton and McAfee more, is because they're not just straight debate shows. It's not fucking Skip Bayless arguing with some, you know what I mean?
And also, it's
and even Stephen A's show had got like, well, that's how him and Bayless got their names, was with that debate stuff, and that's just, it's okay, but after a certain point, it just gets old.
Well, everybody started.
That's what everything was, and not only that, then everything became so negative because they have to tear somebody else down to try to argue their point.
I seen Irving got let go from NFL Network. I like Michael Irvin on NFL shows. I hope he gets a job somewhere. I've always liked Michael Irvin. Now, as a person, I don't know. I know he's had some crazy stuff, but I've always liked him, just like I always liked Chris Carter. And I know he's had some issues, but I always like Chris Carter on shows too. So I hope Irvin gets a job.
Well, all right. Well, do you have anything else for today?
No, I think we're good to go.
All right. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like, follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Join us tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, for GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We'll talk all kinds of stuff wrestling. They had Backlash this weekend.
It's gonna be a
There's
good show.
a lot of stuff coming up, so join us for that. And then we'll be back tomorrow right around 3 o'clock with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.